Good afternoon, folks. This is Tiffany Daniels, also known as Lady Artist, and welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. Meanwhile, I'm drinking a little tea. But anyways, what we're talking about today is actually something I kind of ran into with the next couple of hours. And I don't know if it's so much of a tactic, it may be for some folks, but what I'm noticing, especially amongst the bigger names of those opposing JD, is what I call willful ignorance, almost militantly so. So, what am I talking about here? So, since we have moved on from us all being bots or paid campaigners, we've had people, whether it's AHs, lawyers, or the media, constantly double down on calling us fans overwhelmed with his star power. Now, since then, a lot of us have come out with what our backgrounds happen to be. Mine being, of course, that this is what I do. I've been an advocate for years. This is just what I do. I stand for those who have been tortured, abused, lied about, harassed. I stand for those who are a part of the neurodiverse community, no matter who they are, especially when they are being attacked, abused, and tortured. It is my duty to bring to light when behaviors like that are being perpetrated against one of us. It's what I've always done. It's been my life for the last decade. But when we've had others come up with their DV survivors, I also have that in common with them as well. I even have a video about it. But it seems no matter what we put out there, even when we show our receipts, which I would be happy to do so, I still have a majority of my receipts, or just a simple, easy Google search of my name, Tiffany L. Daniels. You can even search for it under Nixa Mo, where it shows me as part of the Mo Commission for Autism Spectrum Disorders that was here in my state starting around the year of 2008. They still want to insist that we are just fans. Now, why do they do this? What benefit does this absolute willful ignorance have? Well, it means that the larger public who are taking notice of the growing support of JD and notice of those who've been staying around since the very beginning back in 2016, it means that they're trying to reach those folks who do have open minds, who are starting to come over and say, okay, what do you got? What are the transcripts? Where do I need to go? What websites do I go to? That's starting to happen in droves at this point in time, and the media and the trolls are trying to curb that interest that folks have to actually dig deeper into this case. So, how do they do that? By continuously dismissing us all as fans, because if we are fans who are just simply overwhelmed with star power, or his looks, or his movies, or whatever, then they can dismiss anything we have to say about the case in particular, because we're blinded not by him. It means that anything that we have to say is automatically going to be biased and not factual. Now, willful ignorance also works in other ways. It's being used to try to stop the tide, so to speak. But here is the fact of the matter. Willful ignorance can be used as a tactic, but it's also a double-edged sword. What I mean by that is, if you are coming down so hard, drilling so hard on a particular type of narrative, eventually, even the general public who just read the headlines start to question why. Why, with all the other things going on in the world right now, with COVID, with businesses closing, people losing jobs, people becoming homeless, with everything that's going on right now, why do they continue to hammer down on the whole idea that we're nothing but fans? And why do they keep pushing this agenda that he's an abuser to the point that it is actually surpassing real world problems right now in the news? And that makes people curious. Okay, well, I'm going to do my own digging, because if they're hammering this hard on this subject, there's got to be something more to it. This is where tactics of trolls and media and anybody trying to perpetuate a narrative can backfire on them big time. And that's kind of what I'm looking to happen in this situation. The average person may not be roused by headlines. Oh, that's too bad. That sucks. I need to look for a job tomorrow. And if they keep hammering on it though, even the most passive news observer is going to get curious. And that is where we win, folks. When trolls and media overstep themselves with all the other tactics that I've talked about, as well as willful, almost militant willful ignorance, and trying to perpetuate that onto everyone else, when people start coming and start questioning and start coming onto the tag, that is our window of opportunity to be able to do some of our very best work. That is when we give information. But when they ask for information, and believe me, I almost feel like I am being blasphemous for saying this as an autistic. We have to be careful not to overwhelm. Yes, we need to definitely get them listening to the audios. I think that's number one. Number one would be getting them to listen to the audios. And then once they've listened to the audios, begin engaging in that conversation, providing more information in regards to the transcripts, to her behavior, to her past of abuse, really. So, just wanted to go over that a little bit. So the main message of this is, because they keep doubling down, because they keep dismissing us as fans, because they keep pushing this in the headlines in spite of everything else that's going on, the backfire can and will work in our favor if we keep our eyes open, we remain observant, and when those folks start coming to us, we start feeding them that information with the audios, answering any genuine questions. And I do mean genuine questions. I'm not talking troll bait, and you can usually tell the difference between the two. Alright, that's all I have for this afternoon, folks. Now, I don't get many views on this channel. The few views that I do get do tend to get removed by YouTube. So please don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to hit the comments. I hope you have a good one. Goodbye.